want to start this video off by saying I don't advocate drug use at all. I don't necessarily agree with the war on drugs, but drugs can be dangerous. And on that note, I would like to talk about something that I've seen and heard a lot of problems with, and I mean a lot. So, powdered drugs. I mean, like, drugs that are cut with things, and you mash them up, looks like powder, baby powder, or sugar. I'm talking not just cocaine. There's tons of different types of drugs that are, like, powdered drugs, okay? Cocaine can be powdered even, it's not common, but stuff like that, almost every type of drug can be powdered. You just take the chemical compound out of it and stick it into some type of powdered solution. I've heard people doing this with tons of different things, but a great example is there's cocaine, right? Yeah, this is one of the scariest things ever. Kids go to raves, they buy ecstasy or coke, and it ends up being another drug. Well, where did they go wrong, right? Okay, number one, they're buying drugs, which I don't necessarily advocate. Number two, they are buying powdered drugs, okay? Powdered drugs that are mashed up and powdered, turn into a powder, and maybe stick it in a pill or stick it in a bag like cocaine, so you snort it like by a gram or what are they called, like Q or something. I don't remember what the names of them are. But you buy the quantities of it, right? And they snort some cocaine, right? And it's supposed to kick in instantly. Well, cocaine kicks in like that, right? So if you take some and it doesn't kick in, you're like, what the fuck? So you take more and more and more. Same goes with ecstasy. You wait. You're like, what the fuck did I do wrong? And then you start tripping fucking balls. Now this is the problem. This is where you went wrong. You bought a powdered drug. Drugs like cocaine can be on the market for like $50 to $100 a gram, maybe higher, depending on the quality and where you're from. Now, it's a lot of dough, right, for a gram. And I mean, a gram's like, a little tiny baggie of cocaine, like a little tiny bit, right? So, you buy that much, and really, you're getting something different. You're probably getting something like 2CE or 2C, I think there's one that's 2CB, different types of 2C stuff. For ACO, DMT, you could be getting bromo dragonfly, you could be getting acid. Okay, there's all these different types of drugs that can be turned into powders that you could think are cocaine or ecstasy or some type of some type of stimulant, and you'll take it and be like, well, what the fuck's happening? You take more and more and more because it's not kicking in. You don't realize that what you could have taken is a psychedelic drug that could take potentially sometimes hours to kick in, depending on how full your stomach is. So you've taken all these drugs and it doesn't kick in until an hour after, until it's too late, until you've already overdosed. You've already taken too much. It doesn't kick in for a long time. So you fucked up big time. This is the problem with 2CE, and this is why it just became illegal. Because it wasn't illegal because it had a different chemical compound than any other drug on the market that's been illegal. And so the DEA has a problem with prosecuting it if it has such a different structure, chemical structure. Well, Obama finally passed a law that says, oh, this giant list of new wave drugs are going to be illegal in general, because they started finding out deaths, bath salt spice, we all know about that shit killing people, but stuff like 2CE, which is basically fucking acid. Alright, so there you go. Don't go to a rave and expect, oh, let's get high on ecstasy, let's go dance with cocaine, you know what I mean? You can't take that stuff and expect that you're going to be totally fine, that you're not going to be tripping balls. Well, there's a dude in New Orleans, Nola, and he thought he was taking ecstasy, so he took more and more and more and more and more. And you know what happened? It was 2C fucking E, and he died. They rushed him to the emergency room, and within, fucking an hour of start of the dose, normal dose, he couldn't fucking talk. His brain melted. It's very much like LSD, but you can overdose from it, unfortunately. So, I don't advise using drugs, but I advise if you do use drugs, I know they have this in Amsterdam. They have in Amsterdam little DEA type of drug things you can buy at smoke shops and stuff like that, head shops, and you can dip it in your ecstasy. You can dip like a little minuscule amount of your ecstasy in it, and you can fucking like tell what drug it is. It'll be like blue if it's ecstasy, and it'll be a different color if it's not ecstasy, so you know that you might have fucked up. See, the thing is that drug dealers, usually people don't actually put other drugs in marijuana because of the fact that that's wasting money for the drug dealer, because they're sticking a fancier product in weed that they sold to you, alright? So, but with powdered drugs like cocaine and ecstasy, they would be selling you cocaine, and it turns out it's 2CE because it's cheaper for them, and then you take it and you fucking trip balls and die. Like a party, I don't remember exactly what year it was, I want to say it was this year or a year before, 15 people overdosed from 2CE. It was either 2CE or bromo dragonfly, and bromo dragonfly is like acid fucking from hell, okay? You are high for over 30 fucking hours. So these people died. It was like, I think it was something like 3 or 4 out of the 15 people died, and the rest were in a coma or some fucking crazy brain dead thing. So that is why you do not do powdered drugs unless you are, or I'm not even gonna say unless, I'm just saying don't do powdered drugs. You know, people do it, but you gotta be smart about drug use if you're ever going to do drugs, because there are dangerous fucking things, and there's a reason why they are illegal. Maybe not, you know, marijuana is my opinion, can be used medically. I mean, there's a lot of drugs, even opiates. Heroin could be, like, used medically. People used to use it medically. It used to be in cough syrup for children in, like, the 50s and shit. Or earlier than that. I think it was, like, the 1800s. But anyway, my point being, just, there are drugs. They're illegal for reasons, and there are reasons. It's not just to fuck because it's political. There are reasons for things becoming illegal. Peace out.